sort of your big picture perspective at the half?
Big picture perspective. I mean, we still got to get a lot better. I mean, we're making progress, but I think I said it on Saturday, we're just good enough to be close, and that, as a competitor, that stinks. I mean, we've had a chance to win all 3 of those games, and we haven't helped the offense give them a chance to build a lead. We play okay in spurts. Usually we play pretty good at the beginning, and once the offense scores, we I don't want to say we relax, but we don't have that same urgency on the field, and we give up points. And then when our offense struggles, all of a sudden we step up and we give them an opportunity. We'll get a couple of 3-and-outs, and then eventually we break, which the bend but don't break drives me a little crazy. Some of those things, because of what we're trying to do and who we have to be a little bit more cautious so that we don't, I mean, we could blitz every down and play man coverage. We'd probably get blown out of a bunch of games. But we're giving the quarterback just enough issues with some different looks that we're able to just maintain them, which I don't like that kind of defense. And over the next 2 years, you'll see a completely different attitude and skill set on that side of the ball.
How much is home versus road?
I don't think that matters. I mean, we have a bad road record. I mean, we didn't even talk about playing on the road this last week. When you build a culture and you play football, the football field's still 120 yards wide, 2 10-yard end zones, and 53 and a 30-yard wide. Doesn't matter where you play. I don't think the crowd noise really affected it. It wasn't real loud on Saturday. I don't think that makes a difference. We don't change the schedule here on Friday. It's pretty similar. We leave in the afternoon. We land there. We eat. I mean, they're in a hotel just like they are here, so they're not in their house. So we just need to win some games. And those teams that win 10, 11 games, they don't have road game issues. I mean, the last 3 years, the place I was before, we didn't have that issue. So if you make a big deal out of it, I think it becomes a big deal. We just got to win some games. And once they learn how to win, I don't think it'll matter. Now, I do think we have a pretty big advantage here in September. I saw it firsthand against Michigan State. Those boys were exhausted in the fourth quarter. Because we practiced outside for the last 3 months, our guys didn't care. I mean, it was 108 degrees of kickoff, and you wouldn't have known. In the fourth quarter, they weren't as fast, they weren't as physical, and there was a significant difference. And I think Oregon State struggled with that a little bit too in the second half. It was still 100 degrees, and I think where they're coming from, it was 60. So I think that's a pretty significant. Now that we've gotten past that part of the year, I don't think it matters.
Do you think your guys have had a hard time understanding how important it is to be successful after you guys score in possession?
Yeah, I think it goes along with back to the beginning of fall camp. I think we don't handle success well in any realm. The first 2 weeks, everybody was telling how wonderful they were. I knew they weren't wonderful yet. I saw some deficiencies that we had that we were able to get away with because we were playing aggressive and fast. When San Diego State hit us in the mouth a little bit, and all of a sudden everything wasn't working as good as it once was, because those guys had seen it forever and they knew they had a better idea. Well, all of a sudden, the way you make it work is you play hard and you play physical and you play mean. Well, we're not there yet. We're getting closer, and some of those guys, they don't understand that yet just because they're young. I mean, we're playing with 4 true freshmen that are playing a lot of reps. So we don't handle success well. So when we get a lead, we should step on that. If we can ever, and we will over the next 6 games, but we score a touchdown, we get their offensive ball back, we score 2 touchdowns, the offensive game plan that's coming at you is completely different. And that's where we've been successful in the past, is when people are 2 scores down, we can give them all kinds of stuff. When you're in a tight ball game and you don't want to give up a big play, you play things a little bit different. Now, as we continue to get the right guys and the guys learn the intensity and everything, it doesn't matter what you do. If they play full speed and they're mean and physical, you have success. There's a couple ways you can look at it. Okay, we're 3-3. That's average. Give them a C. Who we're playing with As far as experience-wise, not that they're not good players, they just haven't played a lot. I mean, from last year's team, you lose your leading tackler, you lose your leading pressure up front. I mean, you lose a couple guys that leave early that were really good players in the Pac-12. You lose a couple guys in the secondary. So now you're playing with brand new linebackers that have had zero experience. You're playing with guys in the front that one guy has played some snaps, Fernell and George. Between the two of them, they have a little bit of experience. Then Kobe and Chase have quite a bit of experience. Everywhere else, you're playing with guys that are learning how the speed of the game works. For the younger guys that are playing with experience, they probably played a little bit above themselves. Okay? For the amount of snaps that we played on defense, I think we played the 16th most snaps in the country. For 4 true freshmen to do that and still have an opportunity to play at a pretty good level, they're probably playing above themselves. In my opinion, we're still not very good on defense. We're good enough to be in games. That ain't good enough. Over the next 2 years, we'll be really good on defense or I'll quit. Promise. We will be really good on defense or I won't be here.
Kalani Crosby's not in the program anymore. Is there any possibility that Stan Lambert might play more or might?
No. Stanley will. We've still got one more game with Stanley, but we've decided that. So with this 4-game rule, we've evaluated, especially now that we're at the bye week, we've evaluated the guys that are going to help us in the future. And he's one of them that he's got a really bright future. I mean, the young man, after he gets a full year in the weight room, he'll put on 25 pounds without even blinking. And he's still got a game, so he's still traveling with us. I still think it's very meaningful for him to get a lot of reps with the guys that are playing on Saturdays so that he's getting that same speed in practice that we get. And at one point during the season, we have one more game with him. We'll probably use it. Whether it's on special teams or whether he comes in and pass rushes as he continues to work on his craft there. But he could play at all 3 levels. I mean, he wants to play safety. He would be a good-looking safety. He could probably end up being a D lineman. I don't doubt he's going to be 260 pounds. Tyler Johnson's 260 pounds, and he's playing linebacker, running around like a crazed maniac at times. When those guys figure it out, then you got a chance to do some really good things.
Who are you most pleased with? If you're looking at your roster, who's been the most pleasant surprise for you?
Probably the freshmen still. I mean, Merlin is he's played at a high level, and so is Darian. The most consistent one, just game in and game out, has probably been Kobe Williams. It's funny, we talk about not having success, and I give Merlin a hard time all the time because everybody's telling him how wonderful he is, and he's okay. He's playing okay football. He's playing really good football for a true freshman. Well, now he's 6 games into it. I don't see him as a true freshman anymore. Now he needs to play with the experience he has and continue to get better. And so, but for being young, he's done a really good job. But I'm going to continue to tell him he's not very good, and we'll build him up.
What about Devontae King? I know the other week he played, all the entire snaps, doesn't have a lot of backup behind him. There's a guy that didn't even participate in spring practice and just seen play the way he is right now.
It's been consistent. The production is a little bit. I mean, I think I would like him to be a little bit more productive as far as tackles and stuff. But he's been really sufficient back there. Like I said, he's taken every snap on defense this season. He has not missed one snap. Now that we've gone through 6 games, some of the rotation things, now that we've determined who our really good players are, who gives us the best chance to win, and now that you've got 6 games, I mean, if those top 3 guys would have played all year so far, they'd be so beat up, we'd be struggling. Well, now we can give those guys, we can build them with a few more reps so that you're going to see some of the starters in there a little bit longer than they would normally have been in the first 6 games because we don't have as far to go. They'll get spelled at certain moments, but we should play a little bit better. The big thing is in that rotation, there's not a huge gap between those guys. I mean, there's not a significant gap. If there's a significant gap, then some of those guys aren't going to come out. DeMonte King's an example. There's a pretty big gap. Now, I think that gap is closing for him. I think Cam Phillips still has his 4 games left. We got 6 to go. I think you'll see him getting some action. I don't know if it'll be at that spot, but it'll be somewhere out there. But, I mean, productivity probably hasn't been as good as we would have liked it, but he's been very sound. So it's been good.
I'm curious your thoughts, a little outside of it, but the Nikhil Berry and the situation and how that unfolded in your thoughts.
It's football. I mean, I feel bad for Nikhil because he got a blindside. Anybody that's ever been to that stadium, I don't think the kid did it. I don't think he had any ill intent. I don't think he was trying to hide. There's literally, from where he got pushed out of bounds, there's 5 yards to the end line. There's 50 people standing between him and the field. So I don't think he was trying to hide back there, and I think he just got extremely lucky that Nikhil was running that way. If Nikhil turns the ball the other way, we have a huge advantage because that guy just eliminated himself. I think he just showed up at a lucky. I don't think it was on purpose. If that happened in our stadium, it wouldn't have been an issue because he would have been able to get back on the field. But there's zero room on those sidelines, so he was just running. I don't think there was anything wrong with it. It sucks that it happened. It stinks that it happened to Nikhil and that he got his leg hit, but I don't think it was on purpose. I don't think he was trying to be deceitful down the sideline hiding.
Everybody good? Thanks, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you guys.